Hello there, Kimberly here. I wanted to do a video on my take of manifesting. I have a girlfriend and we were talking and she was like, that manifesting stuff really doesn't work. And she just kind of said it in passing and she continued on with saying what she was saying. And so I let her finish, but then I wanted to double back and I was like, I think it really does work. In fact, I know it does. And it works for people who work it. So just her saying that kind of made me feel like, man, are there more people who think that? And if so, can I in some way contribute to changing their mindset? That question led me to plop down right here and create that video. So that's what this is about. If you are a returning subscriber or someone who has watched me before, please be sure to hit the like button, as I kind of feel like if you're coming back, you're seeing something that you like, right? So help me out here. That just helps me to spread my little thoughts and corner of the internet out into the world. If you are a new person coming here, check out my videos, see if I make any points that resonate with you, and then if so, let's make the deal that you'll then give me a thumbs up button and perhaps even subscribe. All right, all that said, I want to jump into the video. So when she said that about manifesting, it kind of concerned me. No, it really concerned me because I just hated the idea of her even thinking that way. She's generally a positive person. And so for her to then have that negative outlook on it, it was just really surprising to me. And I wanted to change her mindset. I did talk with her, and after doing so, I feel like she was a changed soul. And I feel better about that. And as part of that, I just want to keep this party rolling. So here we go. I think one of the first things that comes with manifesting is the fact and acceptance that it starts with you and it really does end with you. In order for you to manifest the things that you want in life, you have to do a personal assessment. We call them glows and grows, right? So you talk about the things that are glowing. What are those things that have really worked well for you? What have you done so far that's gotten you to where you are? And you are somewhere. Like, I feel like all of us are currently living in a prayer that we had yesterday. Do we continue to pray forward and move forward and want more? Sure. But we're still living in a prayer that we've already had. So, of course, you need to take a look at what worked. How did you get to where you are? And then start figuring out, all right, where can you grow from where you are right now? How can you make better on what it is that you desire? I find it so interesting that a lot of times, let's just say you're ready to call in sick. You want to call in sick, right? And so what do? You're trying to think of an excuse. You ain't sick. You're just sick of going to work. So you're trying to think of an excuse or a reason, and you're like, oh, maybe I'll have to go to a funeral. I'm going to have to go to someone's funeral. So who are you not going to say? You're not going to say your mom if she's alive and healthy. You're not going to say your dad, right? Because these are the people that you don't want to burn bread on. So since you don't want to burn bread on them, you're more likely to think back into your grandmother or your great-grandmother or your great-aunt or someone who has passed away and you just need to go to their funeral and all those things, right? That's what you're looking for. And why do you do that? Because you don't want to burn bread. But my thing is this. If you so believe that what you say can really be impactful, if you so believe that what you put out there in the universe can actually come back full circle, why don't you believe that in a positive way? Why do you only believe that you can speak death on people, but you can't speak goodness and well-being, and you can't manifest into your own life? I just find that strange that so many people seemingly feel that way. The same energy you use or the same energy you believe can go towards speaking death to someone else. It's the same energy it takes to speak that goodness and that life on your own self. So let's just start changing our mindset when it comes to that even. Another thing I want to point out, though, that as you're speaking of your glows and grows, make sure you're not that hard on yourself, because I recently caught myself just being really negative and disparaging. And I thought, best friend, why are you talking to yourself like that? Bestie, that's not how we need to be talking to you. You know, and so just to give you a better example, I was more specifically talking about my weight. I had gotten on the scale, I don't know why, but I had gotten on the scale and I realized, oh my goodness, I weigh more now than I did when I was 9 months pregnant. Say what now? Let me repeat that. I weigh more now than I did when I was 9 months pregnant. And that just started this tailspin of, oh my goodness, I better get this into the gym. I need to hit the gym. Matter of fact, I don't need to just go to the gym a couple, 2, 3 times a week. I'm going to need to go like what? Oh, 6 days. And I'm gonna rest one day. Okay, so I'm gonna start going to the gym 6 days a week. I'm gonna really hit it hard. I started setting all of these outlandish goals. Mind you, I ain't been to the gym consistently in the last 6 months, but all of a sudden, some magical how I'm gonna start going to the gym 6 days a week and I'm gonna hit it hard. No, that's not gonna happen. What would be more likely to happen is I would probably try to go to the gym multiple days. I would probably try to hit it hard, pull something, strain something, hurt something, do something that makes sure that I don't need to go to the gym no more, because now I gotta rest. I gotta rest that ache that I just created. And it starts falling into this self-fulfilling prophecy of, see, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to do no gym all them days a week. And now, yep, see, here it is. See, I knew I could. That is what we're trying to avoid. At least I'm trying to avoid. And if you think back, it's possible that you've probably done that to yourself too. You've set yourself up with these super unrealistic goals that you couldn't attain. And then when you couldn't attain them, see, I knew. Now, and then there's this other notion that I keep hearing going around where we're kicking ourselves and saying we're in our lazy girl era. Have you heard of that? Where, okay, let's go back to the gym example. Here I've done it. I've gone multiple days. I hit it really hard. I hurt myself. Now I can't go. Now I'm not going in it. Now I'm lazy. Now I'm just that self-fulfilling prophecy again, just in a negative way in context. Why? Why are we doing that to ourselves? All I did was I set more realistic goals. You know what? It's daylight savings time. I don't get to walk after work like I used to. Okay, so even though I can't walk after work, I can at least do this on the weekend. I can go walking because honestly, I prefer walking outdoors to being in the gym anyway. But okay, so I can walk Sunday and Saturday. I might even, one of those days, walk twice a day. And I do that. And by the way, I can go to the gym. Maybe not 6 days a week, that's a lot. It's certainly not starting off at 6, but maybe I can start off with 3 days a week. Can I manage 3? Yeah, I think I can. I can do 3 days. And I'm not gonna hit it hard. I'm not gonna bang it out, but I'm gonna get on that treadmill and I'm gonna do at least 30 minutes of that. And then after that, maybe I can lift a couple of reps of weight. You know what I mean? Like keeping it realistic and keeping it attainable, but also putting it in a positive light. I'm not going to the gym because now I'm heavier than I've ever been. I'm heavier than I was when I was 9 months pregnant. I'm going to the gym because I want to be able to move more. I'm going to the gym because I want to show some gratitude that yes, I'm able to do this. And I'm showing gratitude all throughout my steps. Thank you. I am thankful that I have the ability to go to a gym. I am thankful that I have that access. I am thankful that I have the mobility. I'm so grateful that I'm able to move. And my schedule is such that I can find time in the day that I can do this working out. Maybe even I have to get up early to do it, but I'm so grateful that I have that ability. So just by changing it more so from a punitive mindset to a more positive mindset, that alone has helped me. And so far, I actually have been going to the gym, so yay me. Another thing I want to talk about is setting those goals. I touched on it a little bit already, but when you set goals, they have to be truly attainable goals. And then once you set them, don't settle, don't compromise. Be sure. Once you've made sure, you've already made sure they're attainable. You've already made sure they're realistic. So now that you've done that part, make sure that you stick to it. And I'll give you another example. This is just post-pandemic, my car broke down and I needed another one. And in the meantime, my now ex and I were separated. And so I had to call him and I was like, listen, I need to get the truck back. You don't really drive it. You have another main car anyway. But yeah, I need the truck back because my car has broken down. Sure, no problem, all of that. I get it. And it is not in tip-top shape. Let's just say that. It's got some rust, it's got some dents. There may have been a little bit of clutter in there, and it was just overall dirty. We had used it more so for our vending machine business than anything else. So like any other work truck, it had some miles on it, we'll just say that. So I get the truck, and at that time I'm living in my rabbit hole apartment, and I am literally filling this bucket up a bucket up with hot water, walking out to the parking lot, you know, sponge cleaning the truck and things like that, because I wear a lot of light colored clothes and I didn't want that dirt and stuff to transfer. So I'm going out there, I'm spot cleaning the truck, pour the water out, go back into my apartment, repeat. I probably made about 4 trips doing that alone. I'm also cleaning down the windshield, the car windows, the console, the dash, the steering wheel, everything. I am just going to town cleaning up this car. And it literally took me some hours to do. All the while, as I'm cleaning it, I am just thankful. Thank you, God. I am so appreciative of the fact that I still have a means of transportation. I'm so appreciative of the fact that I'm not having to call Uber. You know, my job, my livelihood is not at all negatively affected by this. I'm able to provide a roof over my head, food in my belly, all the things that we use our car for, right? All of that is still attainable. Is this truck pretty? No, she wasn't pretty, but she was useful and she was helpful and she worked out for me. And so that leads me into the next part of just having that spirit of gratitude all the while. As I'm cleaning it and I'm being thankful, I just know it could be different for me, and it has been different for many other people. So I'm so blessed and so happy that I had this vehicle. And let me touch on that a little bit more. I just feel like there's no reason for God to bless me with the next great thing if I haven't shown gratitude in the thing that I have now, if I haven't been a good steward of what He's already provided me. So yeah, that's a big thing for me. But meanwhile, as I'm driving the truck, I've got my mindset on the car that I want. When I tell you my mindset, I knew that I either wanted it to be Coca-Cola brown or burgundy. I wanted it to have a light tan or perhaps peanut butter interior. Although I'm buying it used, it was a Lexus. I said I want to get a Lexus. And although I was getting it used, I needed it to not have more than 50,000 miles on it. I needed it to cost X dollars. I was willing to pay X dollars a month, let's just say $200 a month, and there it is. So I get on the internet and I'm doing all these searches for just this particular car. Days go by, weeks go by, a month goes by. Now I'm getting really frustrated and I'm talking to my girlfriend, and in passing I just say, oh my goodness, I cannot find the car that I want. And she's like, oh really? Oh, well, I know a person who sells cars, and if he doesn't have the car that you want, he'll find it for you. What? What? Are you kidding? So she was like, do you want his information? Absolutely. I get in touch with him and he's like, oh yeah, I told him all that I wanted. And he was like, okay, that's doable. Here's how this works. You'll need to give me a check in the amount of $500 to hold as a deposit. And I trusted him because he had a business and everything. Believe me, I did my homework on him. So anyway, I give him the check for $500. The arrangement is he's gonna hold it. If he finds a vehicle that I want and I approve it when he calls me, then fine, he'll use the check to put the money down on that, and then I get my car. I then pay him a commission for finding the vehicle for me. You know what? Yes, after a month or so of doing this, it was worth it for the headache, pay for convenience. And so we make the deal. He starts looking for the car, and as it turns out, he was having trouble too. So he calls me and he's like, listen, found the car that you want, but it's not in that brown or that burgundy color that you wanted. It's a beautiful black, and it's, well, if it's black, it ain't the car I wanted. And so I just let him know, no, that's not what I want. I really want Coca-Cola brown or burgundy. And he, oh, no problem. So he goes on, another week or two goes by, and he now finds another car that I want. This time the car that I want, I believe it was burgundy, but it had a gray interior. And you know, it's okay because you said you wanted a light colored interior, and this gray is actually, it's not what I want. So again, I had to tell him thank you, but no thank you. So once again, we're trying to get another car. So he goes on to look, mind you now, weeks have gone by. Third time he comes to me and he's like, listen, definitely found a car you want, but hey, you're gonna have to lighten up on some of those parameters. And so this car, this is a good car. It's the color, it's the interior, it's the mileage, it's all of that. The only thing is you're gonna have to pay a little bit more, than what you wanted. And I didn't want to tell you this, but even when you said it back then, it was a bit unrealistic. So yeah, this is a pretty good deal. And I said, well, what are we talking here? It's about $150 a month. Silence, I don't have anything to say. You hear me? It's about $150. Now, $150, that's not a lot. You want a luxury car, you want a certain color, you want a certain interior. You know, you got to work with me now. That's not really a lot. So finally I speak up and I'm like, I'm glad that you don't think it's a lot. Are you going to be able to give me that $150, you know, on the first of the month or by the 5th, depending on when the payment is due? Like, how are you going to arrange to give me that since it's not a lot? Oh, see, now that changed the tone. When it was up to him to pay it, oh, $150 a month, am I crazy? But when it was up to me, no, not so much. So I just had to explain to him, no, I want this car within this parameter. Needless to say, his tone changed a little bit. He was getting impatient with me, and I can understand that. It was taking a while. I was impatient with the process. Why do you think I hired him? And so, or commissioned him. And so, that being the case, I was starting to not like his tone. And after a while, I just said, you know what? Never mind. I'll go ahead and I'll find the car myself. I appreciate all your work and effort. When can we meet for me to pick up my check? And so he told me a time and space. I was like, cool. Gave me enough time to stop by the bank. I picked up some cash from the ATM because I wanted to pay him for his efforts anyway, even though he couldn't find the car. And even though I wasn't all that pleased with his tone. So we end up meeting up, and before he gives me the check, he's like, listen, I'm gonna give you the check, but don't you feel like you ought to pay me something for all my effort anyway? And even as he said that, I didn't like the tone that he used. And I was like, tell me more. Well, you know, I spent time looking for it and I did this, that, and you owe me. And I said, well, see, that's not the arrangement. It's not that I actually owe you. The arrangement was you would be able to find a car, and as such, I would then, but see, I don't think you understand how specific you were. Don't cut me off. I didn't like that. And then I didn't like his overall tone anyway. Still, I let him go ahead and finish because at this point, he's just talking himself out of the money that I had just picked up from the ATM. And who am I to interfere? Long story short, I ended up not paying him for that, received my whole check, and then I went on to look for the car myself, and I found it. I really did. I found everything I wanted, including the price that I wanted, that he said was too unrealistic. And I feel like I did all of that because I set my goals. They were attainable. Were they easy? No. But they were certainly attainable. And so I set my goals. I was focused on that. I was determined, despite the fact that he kept coming to me with something that I could have settled for. I didn't settle, and I had my car. So yeah, I feel like I'm not lucky in that regard. I think the gratitude that I showed for the truck, the blessings, my recognizing the blessing that I even had the truck, cleaning the truck, being a good steward, being patient and having that outline and sticking to it. I think all of that is a part of the manifestation of me getting my car. It was not luck. It was steadfast manifesting. All right. So that's my take on that and why it's so important that you speak positively and that you outline your goal and that you have it and stay to it. So the next thing I would say that was helpful for me was expressing that gratitude. I've already touched on it before, but expressing gratitude for what you have right here, right now. Because no, it may not be everything that you want. That pickup truck with the dents and the rust and all of that, it was not everything that I wanted. That's why I set an outline of the car that I really want. But in the meantime, man, I was living in my prayer. Years ago, times ago, I had already prayed that I would have a good job and transportation that would allow me to go to and from that job. Reliable transportation. And let me tell you, the truck was not in its peak condition. I had to add oil to it quite frequently, to the point that I was bringing a step stool with me because I already knew at some point I'm going to have to go to Walmart, pop the hood in the parking lot, pour some oil in there. Now, several times there were some nice gentlemen who helped me with that, but I knew it was something that needed to be done. And even as I was doing that, I was saying, oh, thank you. I'm so glad that I caught this in time, because had I not, I would have burned the motor out. Had I not, I wouldn't have transportation. So you know what? Thank you, Lord, that I'm able to do this, that I had the mindset and the memory to go ahead and get that oil right now and pour it in. Like all along the way, I'm showing and expressing gratitude. The car got to a point where it looked like it was really just going to break down. So I took it to a mechanic, and thankfully, he was honest with me, and he was like, I could do some stuff. I could put a Band-Aid on it and maybe stretch it out a little bit. At one point, he actually did. And then the second time, when I went back to him soon after, I was like, yeah, it's still not doing right. It still has a knocking issue. And he's like, yeah, it's on its last leg. I could keep charging you and keep fixing it and keep putting Band-Aids on it. But the reality is it just be cost prohibitive for me to keep fixing it. It's not worth the time, money, and energy that you're putting into it. You're going to have to get a new vehicle. Little did he know I was already in the process of looking for one. And so fortunately, I was at the end of my journey. I didn't know it, but I had found a vehicle. Probably another 3 or so days had gone by, found the car that I wanted, outlined in everything that I said that I wanted, but it was taking a while to deliver it to me. I think it came from Florida, I'm not sure. But it was taking a while for me to actually get it. And once again, I thank God that that truck held on until I got that car. Literally, I got the car and maybe another 4 days went by and the truck was just, it was truly on its last leg. I had to have my daughter follow me to drive it back to my ex's and everything because he was like, oh, I'm sure I can fix it and work on it. I don't know how it turned out for him afterwards, but I know for me, hallelujah, I already obtained my new car in the meantime. Now, all of that being said, I kind of glossed over it, but I want to make sure that I'm clear that the last part of manifesting, yes, you've spoken positively, you've set your goals, you've expressed your gratitude and all of that, but you still have to actually do the work. You heard me say weeks went by. I then tried to hire someone else. He couldn't do it. I took the job back on myself and I continued to work. I'm telling you, I was at work during my breaks looking for a car. Immediately after work, looking for a car. I'd wake up some mornings looking for a car. At all points, just looking for a car because, you know, it's post-pandemic and they're trying to charge these outrageous prices that I'm just not willing to pay. So yeah, I had to do the work. And I at all do not say I was lucky. Luck did not play a part in this at all. Instead, it was my work. It was my goal. It was my outline. It was my determination. It was my gratitude. It was all those things that came together to help me get my car. I mentioned my weight loss journey before. It is going to be speaking positively to myself, being thankful for my ability to move. It is going to be me going myself to the gym and putting in that hard work under realistic goals and circumstances. It's not going to be 6 days a week and lose that weight. So all of that is going to contribute into me manifesting the life that I want. And speaking of manifesting the life that you want, I think it's important that you have multiple goals. This is what I want for my weight. This is what I want for my finances. This is what I want for my home. This is, you know, you have to have all of those goals and underneath, or all of those headings, and underneath those have those goals of how you want in order to manifest the life that you really want. How are you going to obtain it? Well, I'm going to get up earlier. And let's start with that because I hear so much about this, my 5 a.m. or my 5:30 wake up. It is unrealistic to say I'm going to wake up at 5 in the morning, go to gym 6 days a week. I'm going to cut this out of my diet. When you start doing all of those things all at once, again, you are setting yourself up. You are making it so much more punitive than it ought to be. Life is not this huge punishment, y'all. It just isn't. So don't do that to yourself. Set a goal. Once you've accomplished that a little bit, add on to that. Once you've accomplished those, add another onto it. Please don't punish yourself like that. It's just not worth it. Be your own best friend. That's something I had to tell myself. That friend, this isn't how we talk to each other. So I'm telling you, friend, this isn't how we do this manifesting. Of course, if you do it that way, it's not going to work. Of course, if you do it that way, it's going to be punitive. You're going to hate it, dread it, and all of that. Don't do that to yourself. You're better than that. So, I don't know. That's just my little take on what it takes to manifest the life that you want. I will add one more thing, though. I like to, personally, I don't do dream boards and all of that. Absolutely nothing wrong with it if that helps you. It's just not for me. What I do instead is I'm more so of a journaler. Journaler? Y'all get what I'm saying. But more so, I like to write things down. So right now it's November of 23. I'll journal as if it is November of 24. And I'm going to say, Thank you so much that I've attained my weight goal of whatever pounds. I'm so happy that I'm living in a peaceful home. My friendships are strong and thriving because I've done whatever. To me, again, it starts with me and ends with me and all of that jazz. It can't just be me now. That's a whole nother video. But with regard to friendships and such, I need to know that I need to put in my work in order to make those things happen. So my work goes into me weighing what I want. My work goes into me having the home that I want. My work goes into me having the relationships that I want, all of that. So that goes without saying. But back to my journaling, I feel like I just sit down and here it is. It's November of 24, and I'm so thankful that I've accomplished this. I've gained that. I've worked on and I've achieved, and all of those things, I'm writing them as if they've already come into fruition, because the honest to goodness truth is, if I start now and my goals are realistic and I'm working on it and I'm grateful for what I have every step along the way, there's absolutely no reason why would I not have everything that I want by the time it's November of 24. And that's my challenge to you. There's no reason that you're not going to have it. Manifesting does work. If you make it work, you can make it work. It's up to you. So believe that, work that, and then let me know. Start on it. In a month or two later, come back to the video, comment below. You know what? You were damn right about that, because I know I'm already right? But anyway, that's been my take on manifesting. I truly hope I said something that resonated with you. And going back to what I started with, if you haven't done so already, please make sure to hit the like button to let me know that, yeah, you're on target with this and I've said something that helped you out. In the meantime, I do want to say thank you so much for stopping by and visiting my channel, as I do not take the time you spend with me for granted at all. I genuinely appreciate it. And until next time, take care.
Yeah, you wanted a million and you show it. What you want, is it really that important? You've been on my mind.